2, 3, my daily don't grind, 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 grind. Clap, clap, clap. Welcome back to the Daily Grind. That was not Outcast leading us into the show. That was me, your host, Luke.
You look just
I know
like
it
him.
was. I thought this is my Andre 3000 look.
Yeah.
I've got Uncle Buck with me. We're doing a little. It's the summer, so we do what we want here. So we just I don't know what that's the Uncle Buck move. Uncle Buck, how are you, brother? On this Thursday?
Man, I'm great. I'm great. We got a house full, and so we've got If you hear a dog barking in the background, it's not mine. My parents decided to go on a trip and coax my daughter into making a few extra dollars, and the dog just yaps all the time. It's just great.
Dude, that's so smart on them to go for your daughter. Like to be like,
hey.
I
mean, just bypass me altogether.
I bet they're underpaying her too, aren't they?
I'm sure they're just like, hey, you can come spend the night if you watch our dog, knowing that she's there like one night a week anyways. So yeah.
So they're just getting you to watch the dogs for free, basically. You got smart parents. Shout out them.
Oh no. They're smart and they like to travel. And so now they've got their hooks in her for real. And it's probably going to be a regular occurrence.
So you didn't have basketball last night. So were you able to focus solely on the dog? Was it like a doggy spa yesterday?
No, yesterday we had a family game night, which we played phase 10 and we played it to completion.
That game is so fun.
Yeah, and it got down to like me and my daughter, the same daughter who's watching the dog, and she's 9 and she does not lose well, okay?
Oh.
And it was phase 10. We were back and forth, and I mean, I'm a competitor, and she's not beating me. And so I won, and she went to bed mad. And I was just like,
too small. You were too small.
One day you might get me, but it ain't today.
Man, you sound like the Luka Doncic of phase 10. That's called a segue. That dude is so competitive. Just segueing into tonight's game, right. It was weird not having basketball last night. We're just going to talk about the Western Conference Finals today in terms of the playoffs, because that's the only thing we got left. Pretty sure the Eastern Conference Finals happened. They were really quick. I don't know. I was camping. I kept just seeing. I know TJ McConnell's not playing anymore, so I don't know.
So forget that. I'm not rooting for the Eastern Conference at all.
Not at all. So I think tonight, Luka might play the angriest he's ever played tonight.
Well, they get to go back home, and it's always easier to win at home. And so they've won they won 2 games in Minnesota. They won 1 game in Dallas, and they're coming back home to Dallas. And I mean, for Dallas fans, for Mavs fans, sweeps are great. You can always say, oh, they didn't beat us once. But as a ticket holder, as a season ticket holder, or a fan that's wanting to go to a closeout game, I'd much rather them close it out in 5 at your home court,
Yep. And man, the T-Wolves just don't play good. They don't play good at home.
Yeah, so I messed that up. They're headed to Minnesota.
Yes.
Yeah, they're headed to Minnesota. So disregard all that.
Dallas can win, though. Dallas can win tonight.
Right, but not on their home court. I was thinking, So, go win one and stunt for a player. Go silence the crowd. That's as a player, that's got to be one of the best feelings in the world, to go do what Indiana did to New York. Just go beat them and beat the brakes off of them at their place. Send them home sad.
Yeah, well, seeing Cat sad on his home court that would be a pretty good thing to see. But Cat has been so catty this series. The first 3 games have been awful. I think awful is a pretty good description. And then game 4 was the whole gamut of the Cat experience. You got, you had the good cat, the bad cat, the fouling out cat. You had it all.
Right.
It did seem that the T-Wolves maybe found something that worked in game 4 in the form of slow-mo. I think Slow-Mo has guarded. It's just because he's big, like that.
Right. And he can guard any position.
That's the thing,
right.
The length that McDaniels offers, they've got a lot of long rangy defenders the T-Wolves have, but Luka can just push them all over the court. He's so big.
Right.
At the Slow-Mo, and you can see him getting mad with Slow-Mo. I just don't know if they stick with Slow-Mo because he is maybe slightly limited offensively. Like, I don't know. The way that the other people on this T-Wolves team have been playing or haven't been playing, like I'm for Ant to have his game, like, I just don't know. Is it too little too late for the T-Wolves? Are they tired? I just think that the way Luka and Kyrie are playing, I don't want to count them out, but if it's who has the best guy on the court, I think that's the match.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. And Ant can be the best player on the court. No doubt. He can.
No doubt.
But throughout, knocking out the defending champions and sweeping the Suns, some people have forgotten that the playoffs for any player, for any superstar, you've got to take your lumps. And he's getting his lumps right now. He had an amazing start. And he just hasn't been very good in the Western Conference Finals, and that's fine.
He's 22.
Yeah, I'm not here to besmirch anybody for struggling in a Western Conference Finals game. The Grizzlies made one Western Conference Finals and they got swept. Like it's okay. I get it. Go take your lumps. The future is brighter than it is right now, anyways. And so, I just regarding who guards Luka, I mean, I still think. Yes, Slow-Mo has the range. He's not very quick, but neither is Luka. I think Slow-Mo, if you want to body Luka in a Lou Dort-esque, Lou Dort-light way, maybe Kyle's the way to do it because Kyle's also got that personality. Kyle, you don't step on Kyle,
No.
I still think Jaden McDaniels is still the best defender on that team. You just can't let Luka take that first step comfortably. It seems like you're playing off and letting him hit that fadeaway. Like you make even if he's stepping back, be in him. That's what you did. That's what Lou Dort did. It's not that he was roughing him up or elbowing or kicking and scratching. He did do all that, but he also was uncomfortable.
Yeah.
For Luka, he was in his shorts. You know what I'm saying?
Well, and that's how you beat Luka.
Space at all. Right.
Yep. Because he gets mad. And
he does.
And when Luka gets mad, he doesn't always make the best decisions. Like it's almost a coin flip because if you make him mad, he can get that killer in him. If you make him mad, he might just murder you. But if you make him mad, he might get too heated. I mean, like angry Luka can also be a mistake-prone Luka.
And I'm gonna tell you, you're up 3-1 now. If you can get in his head, it's more likely that he goes and trashes a locker room rather than like it's happened throughout the whole playoffs is where Luka has needed the big moment. And it's kind of hard to say that a big moment is going to come in a game 5 on the road when you're up 3-1.
Yeah.
If you want to get in him and get in him in his head, tonight's probably the night to do it because whether or not, you don't want to think this way, you can't stop yourself from thinking we can go home with a lead, whether we win or if we lose this, we can go home with a series lead and a closeout opportunity in Dallas.
Which is huge. It's like either way, I would imagine that's in the back of Dallas's mind. It's
possible not to be.
Yeah. I will say shout out Daniel Greer in the comments. He said that Derek Lively's been upgraded to questionable. I think that's key for the Mavericks because you could see, I mean, Luka the best lob passer in the league? I mean, like the way he flourishes. I mean, maybe Jokic, but it's like the two of them, like they have mastered that lob pass. With Lively in the game, that helps. I mean, even half a Lively, which I don't. Man, if that was a rough hit. That hit, like I don't know. Concussions are rough, but if he's questionable, I imagine he plays.
Yeah, I mean, you're trending in the right direction, which is what you want to see. You've got 3 opportunities to win 1 game at this point. And so get Lively back in there. Gafford has been good. I mean, that alley-oop that he finished the other night in Dallas in game 3 was just, oh my God.
Chef's kiss.
It was
Chef's kiss.
It just like, that is the pinnacle of a fan experience, is what happened at the end of that game for the home team. I mean, just unreal. And I'll tell you, just to take us to the Grizzlies just for a second.
Yeah, please.
I know we keep talking about, do you draft a big? Do you trade for a big? Derek Lively is the perfect example of, if you find the right big at 9, Derek Lively was at 12. They can contribute. So if you get your guy, let this draft play out. If you can get your guy at 9, get him and play him, because Derek Lively struggled early, but you stuck with him. It's a role that can be, it's probably the easiest transition into the NBA, is a guy that can finish lobs. Yeah, the dunker spot. And that's what the Grizzlies need.
It's exactly what they need. And it's funny, too, because everybody gave the Mavs crap for tanking the end of the season last year to get Lively, and they're in the Western Conference Finals, and they're 1 game away from the finals.
And we probably should do an apology tour for Kyrie, because I know on the 2 Buck Sports Show, in which I'm half of, we took a victory lap over, because he had just had such a tumultuous 5 years in the NBA. I mean, he has just come off the suspension for the anti-Semitic comments. It's not like we were out of line by saying that he could have been a locker room cancer, but we kind of took a victory lap and predicted it. And when it did happen, we were just like, see, Kyrie is not that guy. But it turns out there was some front office help there as well.
Yes.
But they did tank out to get that 12th pick, and they nailed it. And so that's what the Grizzlies have got to do. You've got to nail your pick if you keep it. But I'm kind of finding myself go further and further away from a big trade package to get a Jared Allen. If you can get, I know Rusty loves Kel'el Ware from Indiana.
Yeah, he was talking to me about him yesterday.
We all like Donovan Clingan if he falls. Like, go get that guy, and then make your moves around the edges. Go, we're going to talk Kennard. You talked smart yesterday with Rusty. Make those moves around the edges. But if you're convinced on a big man in this draft that can give you lively production, which is dunker spot, long, athletic, can guard the rim, go get him. Don't be scared of the youth.
I think that's very well said. And the Mavericks are the perfect blueprint for that. They've got these great guys around the edges. They got the Derrick Jones Jr.'s, the PJ Washingtons, the Hardys, the Hardaway Jr.'s, who's not even playing well right now. They've got these dudes on the edges.
Right.
They drafted a rookie and he fit in. I think that's the way to go.
They drafted for a rookie and then traded for 2 big wings in Gafford, PJ Washington and Gafford, and Derek Lively's been better than Gafford.
Yeah.
So
I mean, Gafford's keeping him afloat, but Lively has been the better player, the more dynamic of the two.
So
man, this draft, whatever they say about the draft, it's still exciting. We're gonna take a quick break. When we get back, like you mentioned earlier, we're gonna talk about Luke. We talked about Marcus yesterday with just a lot of rumors circulating. Right. So I want to just touch on some of those right after this break.
An anonymous NBA team member says that having the number 1 pick in this year's draft is like essentially drafting Tobias Harris.
Wow.
Which we've both talked about Tobias Harris. I like him as a player. Man, that's kind of harsh. But I understand what he's saying. You don't want Tobias Harris as the number 1 pick in the draft.
Because you look at him and you see what can be. It's just like, just need it all. Can we get it all the time? I just want to see that more. You're talking about some people with some low numbers as being high draft picks. I mean, the draft is just a lot different than what I'm accustomed to. Like, you guys that are going to be averaging 11 points, some guys averaging 9 points. These guys are your top 5 draft picks for the NBA draft.
I don't know, but good luck to them.
Yes.
Dreams will come true.
Well, we will welcome them into the NBA with open arms, especially if we can pronounce the last name.
Tune in to the Night Court Podcast with your hosts, Rob Fisher and Brevin Knight, on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
Does anyone as a Grizzly fan have the right to cheer for whoever they cheer for in the playoffs, especially when the Grizzlies aren't playing? Yes, right.
Absolutely, yeah.
I don't give a flying deep fried shit about who you guys choose to cheer for. I don't. I honestly don't care who you choose to cheer for. When you talk about the grit and grind era, Zach Randolph was that dude to me. He was my favorite player of the era. My second favorite player of the era was Mike Conley Jr.
Right.
And I remember even in covering the team, just some really dope conversations I've had with Mike Conley. He's a super cool dude. You know what I mean? If you choose to cheer for Mike, you definitely have that right. I also have a right to not give a damn about Mike's career outside of being a Memphis Grizzly. Like I do not care, bro. Like when Mike Conley got traded to another team, that dude was super happy to be gone. Like, and he has that right as well. The situation that he left, I'm not mad at him for being happy to get away from it. If he wins one, will I be happy? Will I be hating on him? No. I'll be, hey, that's dope. Mike Conley got a championship. Hey, he's been around for a long time.
Tune in to the Anthony Sane Show Wednesdays and Fridays at 12 p.m. weekly on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
Man, these new commercials are crazy. They're crazy. I don't even know them. I keep seeing them. I'm like, oh my God, we got new commercials. Welcome back to the Daily Grind. If you're as shook as me because of 2 days of these commercials, I'm not used to them yet. But you can catch that show and all these other shows over at bluffcitymedia.co. The $2 Sports Show, that will be tomorrow, right? You guys dropped the episode tomorrow, record tonight?
That's right. We record tonight. The episode will be live on YouTube tomorrow at 3 o'clock Central Time. And we've got lots of stuff to talk about.
Heck yeah. Are you guys going to?
I don't know.
Ooh. I'm more excited for that than I am for anything I've heard in a long time. But back to our show. If you listened to us yesterday, we talked about Marcus Smart. There have been recent, Daniel, shout out Daniel. He's in the comments hanging out with us. He and I talked last week. The first name that came out of his mouth was Marcus Smart in terms of guys that might not be on the team next year. I also saw on Twitter Luke Kennard's name bandied around. And so I'm just trying to go through some of these guys and go through like the guys most likely to switch teams next year, because like you said, it's on the fringes that we need to make changes. I would say Marcus Smart and Luke Kennard are the two easiest dudes to trade just because of in terms of contract. You got that $20 million from Marcus, and we've not even picked up Kennard's option yet. That's also something that we should say. He is technically, until we pick that option up, he could walk at the end of the season. Right. He offers such an elite skill set, but I don't know. I don't know long-term I would keep him on this team. I would personally, but I just don't know with the emergence of GG. I just don't know. With what we saw from Jake at the end of the season, like I just don't know. Kennard's future is a bit more murky than it was a month ago, for me at least. And I just don't know. I don't know if he's going to be on the team next year.
Well, and I stood at the pulpit and preached this all season long when it went to the tanks. And it was just like, listen, you're getting a good opportunity to see what you've got. Yeah. And what we found, I would have never in 1,000 years dreamt that we would consider Marcus Smart kind of redundant going into last season. Like I just can't imagine could not have ever imagined a situation when we're talking about sending out Marcus Smart. We brought him in thinking he was the missing piece. He was the defender. He was the leader, the heart and soul of this team. That's the kind of guy you brought in. And then to think that he's now like, okay, we'll ship him off to Charlotte, for just to make room for Vince Williams, for G.G. Jackson, two guys that were nobodies last year.
Yeah.
Like it's a wild situation to be in. I mean, we were so excited. I woke up that morning, saw the notification, and ran around my house. Like,
yeah.
I love Marcus Smart. And he didn't do anything as a Grizzly to make me not love him. He just got hurt along with everybody else in the organization. So it's just wild. Now for Kennard, I'm with you. I think I'm not I don't feel strongly one way or the other to where I'm going to say make a deal happen or keep him. Like I'm not. Those are the two sides. I'm kind of in the middle. I want to see what happens and then make my decision whether it was a right move or wrong move, because I don't think that there is a right camp to be in, whether the camp is ship him off or keep him. But I lean towards keep him for the same reason you just said. He has an elite skill set. Elite. He is the kind of guy that is valued at every team. Every team needs shooting, and you never, ever have enough. Is he the perfect player? No, he's not. You know, despite his elite shooting, it's always kind of bothered me that everybody has seemed to be willing to give you up on him. You know?
Yeah.
You know, he was shipped from he started in Orlando, right? Detroit to the Clippers, to the Grizzlies, and the Clippers at that time were a decent team, but he just wasn't playing. So he didn't drive with Ty Lue, I guess. But like, he is a dang near 50% 3-point shooter in a league where every team is shooting 35 to 43s a game. Like, I don't understand how you just use him as a, you know, he's part of your summer cleaning project, you know, just to ship him out. Like, no, he's more valuable to me than that.
Yeah, 100%. And you just touched on the one thing that gives me cause for concern. It's like when you're a damn near 50% 3-point shooter and have been since entering the league, I mean, you've at least shot the ball 40, 44, or hover at 40 or higher. You've never shot the ball below 40%. Why is it that nobody extends you past that 4-year deal? Like that. Why didn't the Pistons keep you? Why didn't the Clippers keep you? Because that's a skill that every team needs. It's a cause for concern. It may be a minor, little tiny concern, but it's still just weird. I find it a little weird.
Well, I think what you see, I can't speak to Detroit. They're a dumpster fire. Whatever they do, I kind of want to do the opposite. So, you know, if they want to trade Kennard, we should probably keep him.
Keep him. We should keep him.
Yeah, for the Clippers, you know, they brought in all the guards. You know, you had Paul George, you had James Harden. Yeah, I mean, now they didn't have James Harden at the time, but I think they had Russell Westbrook at the time, and so it was like I think why he's tradable always is because a contender always wants more shooting. And so if you can't work out the right deal for Luke, I think you can work out a pretty good deal at the trade deadline once the teams figure out where they're sitting. You know, say Boston led the league in 3-point shooting this year. Say Philly is competing for the, you know, top half of the East again next year, and they don't have anybody that can shoot the ball. Well, then he becomes an absolute premium for a team like Philly at the deadline. And you may be able to get more for him then. And so I'm a fan of, unless you get the right deal, there is a deal out there that I would approve of, you know?
Yes.
I'm not hard into this keeping stance here, but like, if you can't get the right deal, then let's just run it back, man. And what's the worst that can happen? You have a 48% 3-point shooter that comes off your bench for 15 minutes a game. Like, that's a weapon.
Yep. And at the very least, you get rid of him at the trade deadline if it doesn't work out. Like, if he shoots the ball well and you have these other young guys that continue to develop and shoot the ball well, I guarantee, it's like you said, you think Philly wouldn't have given an arm and a leg to have that kind of shooting over Tobias Harris on their team this year?
I see my lesser half in the Twitter comments here. Rusty says he doesn't play the lick of defense and he couldn't guard any of us. And that's probably true. It is true. However, in this role that I'm talking about, 15 minutes a game, go shoot 5 threes, try not to get posterized, and then go sit back down. Like, this is not a defensive talk that we're having right now.
He's got to shoot at least 5 threes. He has to.
Yeah. And that is my biggest beef with Luke, is it seems like sometimes he gets on the court and doesn't look for a shot. But that is the reason you're on the court, you know?
It's the reason you play.
Right.
Yeah, I
Most
agree
of those
with you.
white folks are only out there for one reason, and we got to shoot the ball, okay? Unless we're TJ McConnell.
Every team has that slightly dirty white boy that only shoots threes. Every team. Trust me. Every team. We need him. It's either him or Jake. Pick one. You can't have them both. The ratio's off. We're going to take one more break, and after that we are going to, it's not Tuesday, but I miss Tuesdays. We're going to tube a little bit because today starts with a T and I can do that. My cat just knocked everything over. Going to take a quick break after this.
The old dudes are getting up out of here too. The LeBrons are starting to look old. Steph Curry looking old. Kevin Durant, first time ever. Neither one of those three guys are in the second round of the playoffs, right?
I absolutely welcome the ushering out of the old heads. Like I have this extreme like LeBron fatigue. Like I don't like the way that he's covered by the media, and it makes me tend to not like him. And it's not even his fault.
Yeah,
it was never his fault. And so moving forward with the new faces of the league, like your John Morants and your Luka Doncic's and Anthony Edwards could be part of that conversation. But does the league want to like put him on? Because they're gonna market whoever they want to market, right? Yeah. And I feel like he's very marketable, but for some reason it seems like the league not leaning into it.
Because they know it's a clown. They know it's a clown inside.
He gonna say whatever,
out, right?
He gonna say whatever. They learn
from John Morant. You better vet these dudes toughly. And the dude who's coming in-bombs and eating Popeyes on street and
he on the Bally's mic, bro. The mic is hot, bro. We heard what you just said.
They know a clown is in there, man.
Tune in to the Anthony Sane Show Wednesdays and Fridays at 12 p.m. weekly on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
The Grizzlies, number nine in the NBA draft. They're picking 9th, 39th, and 57. Who they getting with those three? Go.
A veteran from around the league.
Okay.
I mean, I don't. If there's something that they could do with that 9th pick that gets them someone that's already proven, then yeah, because I don't even know who would be thought of as being the 9th best player that's coming out at this point. I have no idea who that person would be, but I know this team, in terms of for moving forward, you think in terms of winning a championship, still young enough, and you still want some pieces that are able to help you win right now, not just continue to amass for the future. For the future is right now for this team.
Tune in to the Night Court Podcast with your hosts, Rob Fisher and Brevin Knight, on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
There you go. Tigers, it's meant my ADHD kicks in. Welcome back to the Daily Grind. I'm going to look at these new commercials. I'm just like, we're back. New commercials. Once I get comfortable with them, I'll start coming in faster. Welcome back. For our last segment today, we're going to tube. Normally we tube on Tuesdays. You know this. I was not on we didn't have the show Tuesday. And Thursday starts with the letter T also. So we're going to Tubing Thursdays, baby. My show. I can do what I want because it's my show. So what are you? I'll go first. Well, we talk about what we watch, what we tube. It can be movies. It can be TV. I have been on a Mad Max rewatch as of yesterday because the new one's out. And I love those movies. Something about apocalyptic wastelands and dudes in really fast cars killing each other. I'm like, yeah, man, that's what it's like. And I just get really stoked. And I'm really excited for the new one. Yeah, I heard it was good. It didn't make a lot of money. I'm also excited for the Garfield the Cat movie. I heard it was bad. I heard it did not make a lot of money.
Their opening day for that one, if I'm being honest. We have a segment based on Garfield.
I was out of town, man. I was out of town. It slipped up on, it creeped up on me. And I was like, wait, there's a Garfield movie. Samuel L. Jackson plays his dad. How did I miss this? And so I think I might dress up and go in costume this weekend and just be a week late and really confuse everybody. How about you? What have you been watching?
We've kind of hit that summer month, the doldrums here, because NBA is not on every night, my college baseball team stunk, so we're not in the postseason. And so I feel like you've kind of hit prime Major League Baseball season right now. And it's one of those sports. There's got to be nothing else on because there's just too many games. There's no stakes in it,
Yeah.
And so, but it also, the flip side of that makes it so appealing is that you can watch it carefree. You can leave it on. You can walk out of the room. It's like The Office. It's just comfortable. You don't feel like you have to hang on every pitch. And my Cardinals have been red hot, so it's been fun. They've won 8 out of their last 10, including a sweep of your Cubs.
Shut up.
That's the only reason why I brought it up, And so they've won 8 out of their last 10. There's only one team in Major League Baseball that's been hotter. The Cleveland now Guardians.
It's very confusing.
9 of their last 10. It doesn't feel right. I don't like to watch the Commanders. I don't like the Guardians. Like everything.
I prefer the Washington National Football Team. I thought that was better. That's a better name than Commanders.
I think they'll end up going back eventually. But I
liked Red Hogs. That Red Hogs was a finalist, and I don't even know what that means.
Red Tails was one. I was like, oh, that's kind of cool.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, Commanders is just lame. I was actually listening to a show, and they were talking about the new. This is going off the rails a little bit.
That's
here,
okay. That's what we do here.
Talking about the new Utah hockey.
Oh yeah,
hockey list of names that came out, and they had like the Utah Yetis, the Utah Black Diamonds, and they had some really lame ones. But like, go be a Yeti, like Utah Yetis.
That's
10
sick.
out of 10.
That's sick.
And I love just daring, bold, out of left field names. Like the Seattle went with the Kraken. Like,
badass.
Yeah, there is no more. You can corner the market on the Yeti gear here. Corner
the Kraken market.
Right, corner the Kraken market. I'm an Ole Miss Rebels fan, and at one time they took a vote to change the on-field mascot, not the team nickname, but the on-field mascot, because Colonel Reb became, a very poor picture into the past. It
was almost this guy, right? Wasn't it almost this dude right here?
Students voted Admiral Akbar.
Yes.
And so, just be weird with it. It's fun. Like this is a game, And so the Utah I am a fan of the Utah Yetis.
Yeah, this show is a fan of the Utah Yetis. That's sick.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I've been watching baseball. That's about it. Instead of watching TV, we've played some games. Just
it's good games.
I inundate my family with sports way more than I probably should. I've got a rooting interest in virtually every single sport, and can't miss a game. It's a disease. And so if there's nothing on, I'm like, all right, baby, what do you want to watch? Kids, what do you want to do?
It's your turn now.
Right.
So
my favorite thing is like the memes that come up, and it was like, my wife thinks I watch too much football, so I went in on Wednesday night and I told her, it's like, listen, baby, I will not watch any football tonight. I'll do whatever. I'm giving up Wednesday night football for you. That's what I'm doing right now. It's like, whatever you want, honey. There's nothing else on.
I was like, Wednesday night football. The USFL don't even play on Wednesdays.
Right. Must see TV. So
must see TV.
I'm giving it up for my marriage. So
man, shout out you. You're doing the hard. You're making the hard choices in life. We're gonna leave you with that, friends. Happy Thursday. Thank you, Uncle Buck.
Yes, sir.
I will see you next week, maybe tomorrow. I don't know. I'll be back tomorrow. Tune in for basketball tonight. Tune in to Jess Benson show. It's happening right now. Tune in to your show. Drops tomorrow at noon.
Tomorrow at 3:00.
3:00. I just pulled noon out of my ass. Saints at noon.
Saints at noon. $2. Following that, you never want to follow that, but tune in anyway.
Tune in anyway. I'm excited. I'm excited to hear you guys go. There's gonna be a lot. I'm gonna tune in. We will see you all tomorrow, folks. And remember, if I leave you with 2 things today, remember to be a little weird and remember to smile. I will see everyone tomorrow.